it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
I'm gonna be late for class.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Joseph.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Tyler.
And this week, the Wheel of Destiny landed on my pick, Haine.
C'est l'histoire d'un homme qui tombe d'un immeuble de 50 étages. Le mec, au fur et à mesure de sa chute, il se répète sans cesse pour se rassurer. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Mais l'important, c'est pas la chute.
Ah, yes, I remember that part when he said that thing. I feel cooler just watching this trailer.
Yeah.
Il y a 2 jours, il avait sévèrement blessé un jeune de la cité pendant une garde à vue.
Comment il est mortel en vérité, putain.
Et alors, qu'est-ce qu'ils vont faire?
Vas-y, on verra si Abdel meurt.
Steven's the only person that understood that.
Someone's watch is on right now.
Yeah.
The watch up to the mic.
There's a bomb in the podcast.
Oh my God.
Audio listeners, the trailer is still playing, just so you know. It's not like nothing's happening.
The ticking watch is
There's
happening.
video playing right now. Man put a gun in his pants. There's a cop. Another gun. There's a guy. And there's another guy. And there's a guy again. Now we have the title card. Oh, I like that use of type right there.
Yeah.
Haine, which means hate. Just hate. And if you look at the poster on IMDb, it just says hate in big red letters. This is
a little aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit. So this is a movie directed by Mathieu Kassovitz, who has directed things before and after this, and he's also starred in movies such as Amelie. He played Nino in Amelie, who I think he was a character who worked at like the sex shop or something. But this stars Vincent Cassel as Vinz, Hubert Kunde as Hubert, and Saeed last name as Saeed.
It's like a BoJack Horseman character.
And these characters are 3 friends. It follows them, 3 young men, and their time spent in the French suburban ghetto over a span of 24 hours. And they've grown up in these suburbs where high levels of diversity coupled with the racist and oppressive police force have raised tensions to a critical breaking point. During the riots that took place the night before, a police officer loses his gun in the madness, only to leave it for Vinz to find. Now, with a newfound means to gain the respect he deserves, Vinz vows to kill a cop if his friend Abdel dies in the hospital due to the beating he received while in police custody. And it is like a slice of life, quite literally, in 24 hours, following these 3 like late teens around, even though Vincent Cassel was like 28 when he filmed this.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I thought my impression was that they were in their 20s, not in their teens.
I think they're like 18, 19, or supposed to be like 18, 19 year olds.
Out of school, but barely.
Yeah.
All right.
And they just get into a bunch of different shenanigans, meeting different people that they know, and running into skinheads at one point. And then all the while, Vinz has this gun that he found, like a revolver, and
44 Smith & Wesson, snub-nosed.
Not filmed in black and white, but turned black and white in post. And there was the director was going to release a color version if this movie didn't do well.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thinking that it might do, if it didn't do well, it would do better if it was.
But it did
in
great.
Color. And yeah, this is sitting at 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb. And it's a movie that I know by name only. I've never seen this movie before. I don't know if you guys seen this movie before.
No, I have not.
This is considered a very good movie, and I would say that
I wonder if it's in like the 1,000 movies to see before you die list.
Probably. It's definitely it's definitely on one of those posters that you scratch and sniff or you scratch off.
Wait, scratch and sniff. What would this movie smell like?
This one smells like gunpowder and sweat.
Yeah.
This one smells like cocaine.
Cigarettes. But yeah, so it's all of our first times watching this French movie from 1995. Let's get some initial reactions, Pete?
Okay, Haine, my thoughts about this before, my interpretation, my impression of this before I watched the movie was I thought it was a prison movie for some reason. I don't know why I associated that with this. I've heard it brought up on the Film Vault a number of times, and maybe it was somewhere in that pantheon of Papillon and prison movie discussions. Who knows? I couldn't tell you. But that's what I thought, and I kept waiting for Vinz to be arrested and then go to jail because
The prison part.
yeah, because he talks about it. He's like, I could either take 30 days of community service or
jail time or community service.
Like 2 weeks of jail time or 90 days of community service.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's gonna go to jail. That's when the movie's gonna start. But they just kept going and hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of overarching framework, the story structure of this movie. It feels familiar to a number of movies. I'd say
City of God.
Yeah, City of God for sure, but way less frantic and way less like far stretching scope.
Right. Yeah.
It's only a day, maybe a day and a half or something like that.
A day, and there's a lot less characters.
Correct. Yeah. It's just felt more like Kids, where it's like a very gritty look at this kind of life of these kind of street urchins that live in this particular mindset. And in Kids, it's New York City. And one of them is obsessed with taking Virgin the V card from girls. That's Kids.
Kids came out this movie came out in 95. So yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of like all the rage with indie filmmakers.
That was also 95. Actually,
Kids?
Kids
Oh,
was
it was?
95 as well. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So it felt very similar to that.
It was a phenomenon to portray the youth in a certain way.
I guess, I mean, if you look on IMDb, the comparable movies, like more like this, you have City of God, Train Spotting, Seventh Seal, Requiem for a Dream.
Seventh Seal.
Yeah, I thought that was
it's black and
strange.
white.
I don't know if
I
Requiem for
guess.
a Dream could.
Yeah, I think a lot of those don't really make the connection for me. American History X also falls in there, Taxi Driver. And I guess you're following unlikable characters in those movies.
Yeah, sure.
All in all, with this one though, I found the characters interesting, but not none of them were particularly likable.
Right.
Hubert, the
boxer.
He was.
I thought he was the most interesting.
I think he was the more complex, and definitely the most likable because you can see him turning on his friends a number of times. Where he's like, I don't want to go down that road, man. You're going down. You're carrying this pistol around. You think it's cool to kill a cop indiscriminately. It's like that's not going to bring Abdel back.
Right.
And the number of times where he turns away and then they make their way back was interesting. The character of Vinz was interesting as well. Seeing what it really looked like to take another person's life and shoot that gun off. That was a pretty impactful scene.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just really hated Saeed.
Oh, really?
I really hate those type of characters where they're like, they want everybody to like them so much that they're in everybody's face the entire movie.
Right.
And I think that's, you know how when you go to a social gathering, a party or something like that, and then you go back home and you question all the stuff you said that night, and you're like, everybody hates me.
Yeah.
I should have shut the fuck
Shut
up when
my
I go
trap.
places. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that a lot of times throughout my life where I'm like, I should have just shut up. I should just stop talking. You know what? Let's start a podcast.
Come on, it's not that bad.
Thank you. Maybe that's like Dr. Phil says, when you point a finger outward, you got 3 pointing back at you. Maybe it's a little bit of that. It's something about that person I hate about myself. But his
him, Saeed.
him, Saeed in particular, he's always trying to be friends with this group and then be friends with that group. And he has I feel like he has no integrity to his own character.
Right.
Sure.
Which is the point of his character. He's like this weird kind of glom along all over the place. And Vinz has a very clear ideology.
Yes.
Got a gun. I'm going to make it worth its
Got
while.
a mission.
We got a mission from God. And then he pusses out when the time comes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I expected the ending to play out very similar to that it did, the way that it did, but I expected it a different way. I thought that Hubert was going to be the one that pulls the trigger on the skinheads.
He does.
He pulls the trigger
on the cop. Yeah, the cop.
the crooked cop. So I expected it to become a scene sooner. So when he doesn't do it, I figured he was going to pull the gun out of Vin's hand and say, "You don't have the balls," and blows him away.
He's trying to encourage Vinz.
Yeah, the whole time he's like, shoot him. There are good cops, but there's no good skinheads.
Right.
Great line.
Oh, yeah.
Great line. The only good skinhead's a dead skinhead. And I was like,
love
fucking
that.
great.
Oh, my God.
So
I was swooning.
the stuff I liked about it was looking at a part of society, of a part of the world that I've never thought of before. French slums, or French projects.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that before. You think
I haven't thought about that either.
Yeah, and I looked it up and I was like,
I don't think about that ever.
I just don't make the connection. In my head, I'm thinking French projects just doesn't seem like it should exist.
All of them are rich.
Well, at least middle class.
No, there's slums there.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw it here. I thought that was interesting. And the whole, just the ideology about coming from an American point of view where there's guns everywhere. And then seeing in this, it's like everybody that finds out he has a gun, it's almost like, holy shit.
Oh, shit.
It's like it almost like he has a nuclear missile.
Right.
You know, where did you get that? What are you going to do with it? What are you even going to do with it?
Yeah.
And it's like, you could go to your dad's closet and pull a gun out.
Yeah.
I have 3 guns downstairs. It's just like,
You hear that, home invaders?
yeah, you hear that? They're a lock safe, and the ammunition for it is in a completely different room. The key's not even in the room where the lock is. It's like, good luck. They're all family heirlooms. So, anyways, I don't know. There was a lot of interesting stuff about it, and I thought the acting was very good, and the emotional punch at the end really sold it. I was waiting for some big emotional push, something really bad to happen or sad to happen, and it didn't. It ended that. It ended with a bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Cool.
Yep.
Tyler. Initial thoughts.
So after I watched this movie, I was a little bit underwhelmed because I felt like the point that the director was making was a little bit bashed over your head. Yeah, I get it. And maybe it's because of the current times we're living in right now where everyone's kind of like struggling. And the point that they were making just felt a little bit more too in your face. I do agree that with you, Pete, that the rarity of guns in Europe would be shocking to a lot of people, and I think they played that off very well. And the fact that this movie was in black and white definitely makes it feel like you're not watching a movie, but more just following around this group of youths who are in an unfortunate space. Mm-hmm. And I think what I really took away from this movie is that I wish we had a Neil Breen clip that says, "I'm an American." Because
you felt patriotic after watching this?
No, because at the end of the day,
Glad I'm not in France.
At the end of the day, at least I'm not French.
No.
Our German listeners, I love you.
No, but because I'm American, I don't have a frame of reference because I'm assuming this is based on a real life reality for the French people. And it was hard for me to connect with the characters. Although I did like their performances, I really liked the more philosophical sort of lines. God damn it! I already forgot.
Great line.
It was. It's so good right now, or
so good so far.
So good so far. I loved that. And then the one about the story of the guy falling from the skyscraper. He's saying it's good, it's good, it's good, and then
I think it's the same line.
It's like it only matters how you land.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that.
I think in that scenario, it doesn't really matter how you land, to be honest.
In a literal sense.
Yeah.
But like I like those like deep edgy lines. I think it works well with the movie. And yes, the characters are detestable, except for who's the boxer's name?
Hubert.
Yeah, Hubert. He was probably I felt so bad for him too throughout the movie because he recognizes that he should not be with these people, but
he doesn't even want to live in that area.
He's like it almost feels like he's beholden to them, and so. So this movie, I'm glad it takes place within like a 24-hour setting because this was a perfect timed movie. Mm-hmm. It was only an hour 38 and that's all it needed.
Times. I gotta say.
What do you mean me and my run times? What does that even mean? I don't get
It's like one of your most important things about a movie.
Yes, it is.
I think the thing that boggles I'll speak for myself, maybe Joseph as well, is that you'll talk about how you've rewatched The Golden Girls for the 12th time.
Or True Detective, which is at 8 hours.
Yeah, or you've listened to the Days of Thunder on your 17th consecutive listen through. When it's like you could...
You're completely off on that number.
I know, that's not something to be proud of. And then you'll complain that a movie's an hour and 49 minutes.
I like what I like. How about that? But yeah, overall, I think this movie... so if we're just doing it like an initial thought, like I'll probably change my opinion like I always do on this show during our discussion.
No
but
Letterboxd review.
No, I after I watched the movie, I couldn't I couldn't sit down and think about a review. How dare you? I know.
Because I had to leave to go to Pete's house.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of truth in that.
Yeah, I was already in the car. I can't text and drive. So.
Yeah.
I finished the movie on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I finished the movie on my computer screen, but yeah. Anyway, so at first I was a little bit disappointed because there's a lot of hype with this movie, saying, "Oh, this is such a good movie. You have to watch it." And then I watched it and I was like, okay, like I get it, and it was okay. Like I like the performances, I like the cinematography, and like the philosophical statement, but I was a little bit let down, and I think that might be on me because I was hyping myself up for a movie that's highly regarded in the cinematic world. So, but ultimately, yeah, I like it. It was okay. Yeah,
Ultimately,
I liked it, or it was okay.
it was okay.
I liked it, and it was okay.
Both of them.
I mean, like those are
3 stars with a heart.
Like and okay are congruent, right?
So if you gave it a
Or-
letterbox, you would like it, and 3 stars.
yeah,
It's
I
a heart,
think-
a 3 star with a heart.
Yeah,
3 star with a heart. All right.
yeah, 3 stars with the heart.
Okay, 3 stars with a heart. We got it. All right, so this was my first watch as well, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think I like the timed aspect of it. I like that we were given like times, like essentially times of days throughout, and knowing
Right.
that reading the one sentence synopsis where it says 24 hours in the lives of 3 young men, I was like, okay, so I'm given a beginning and an end already, a window of time.
It's also,
Right.
it's also one of the things I love the most about SpongeBob. 2 hours later.
And they're using what we refer to as military time.
You know they use commas where the dots are supposed to be in Europe? On like money and stuff like that? Commas?
I had no
It's a
idea.
wacky place over there.
Yeah, it
It's a
is.
crazy world that we live in.
Yeah, it
Commas,
really
metric
is.
system, kilometers.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. The performances were good, and the cinematography was good, and we're following these kids and teenagers who are, I don't want to say they're thugs, but I guess that would be kind of like
Yeah, they're hoodlums.
just
Yeah,
hoodlums, delinquents,
Yeah.
in a sorts,
Yeah.
Street urchins.
finding guns and just hanging on to them, and
Yeah.
without having actually
Dude goes into
any
he goes into
experience
the
with them.
police station with it in his belt.
Yeah, I know.
Put it in the bushes or something out there. I got a story about that later.
And there's this whole sort of a subplot with their friend Abdel being in the hospital,
Yeah.
and they're just waiting to see if he's going to live or die. And
Yeah.
we're from their perspective the whole time because we're learning what the status of him via TV, which they are watching. And so we get the first one. He was hospitalized. He's in a coma. They go to try to see him, and they're like, "You can't see him. His family's here, and your guys are like being crazy in the hospital."
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think that going into a movie that is like French, black and white, it's foreign subtitled, there was a little bit of barrier entry that I was worried about, but it kept me engaged.
Right, yeah.
Right in the get go. I think it's kept on going back to City of God because we're following youth in that story as well. And I was like, why don't I pick another movie where we're following troubled youth? Maybe they're not in as dangerous environment as they are in City of God, but still they are putting themselves in dangerous situations.
Wasn't a big part of the reason why you chose City of God and this because they're essentially just very highly regarded movies on this sort of
City of God, yes.
IMDb ranking sort of list.
This one was just a letterboxd
Pull out of a hat.
watch list picker. Okay. And this popped up.
Because I'm gonna say, I feel like that's par for the course with these widely regarded movies. Is it's pretty depressing and bleak a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right.
This one's
Yeah.
not quite so depressing as like maybe City of God.
Yeah.
But it's more of a thematic movie.
France is definitely better to live in than Rio de Janeiro. So
Yeah.
It's
they got
definitely
cheese there.
there's definitely like the characters like Saeed, probably the least likable of the bunch. I enjoyed Vinz Cassel. I
Yeah.
enjoyed Vinz. That random sequence of him dancing in the warehouse was pretty funny. Kind of out of nowhere.
His
It's
what's
like
it called?
like his Jewish dance.
Yeah, and there was the bit where he's impersonating Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he plays a Jewish. When I saw him, I was like,
that's a Jew. There he is. You think is Vinny C? Is he
I don't
Jewish
know.
in real life?
I don't know.
Cassell,
Costanza.
Kassovitz.
Maybe, I don't know. But it's almost like a classic like joke. You have a Jew, a black guy, and
And an Arab.
and a Middle Eastern walk into a bar. It was like that's like the setup.
Yeah.
no racial bigotry here.
Okay.
That was just like a little funny thing that I thought of. But yeah, I enjoyed it. The cinematography was great. There was that shot of them driving in the car, and the camera was
Yeah, I like
fixed
that.
to the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, so there's not a car. They're not driving like the camera's not attached to another car, and they're just following it exactly.
It's a GoPro.
It's snorri cammed onto the car, and we're giving this perspective, which is really cool. And I like that a lot.
I like that. The breakdancing scene had some good slow-mo cinematography.
The breakdancing, yeah.
All I was thinking about is Goku doing his head
Head
spin.
slide.
Oh, Dragon Ball Evolution.
Another movie we watched on the show or reviewed on the show.
Yeah, thanks to me.
I thought that was Javi's. Oh, no, it was you.
It was me.
Yeah, it
Dragon Ball Super Broly was Javi's.
Yeah.
And then the end comes and very like Pulp Fiction-esque murder, and then immediate justice from
So
the
we
French.
think.
Yeah.
So we think.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. It's on the Criterion Collection. I guess I wouldn't mind having this as part of my collection, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Probably some good backstory stuff, behind the scenes stuff they probably have from this. I would be more interested in that than rewatching the movie.
Yeah, that's
to be
what
honest.
that's what I was thinking. I'd like more of the behind the scenes aspect.
yeah, I liked how it's made. I wouldn't say it'd be like I'm gonna go home and watch it again right now, but I could see myself watching it again. I like the shots, how they did the mirror shots.
Yeah.
Where it's two people
It's a body double. Yeah, it's a body double or whatever.
and
Just
yeah,
slightly out of sync, so you could tell.
that's okay.
Yeah, no,
it's okay to see the imperfections sometimes.
I wasn't bothered by it at all. I was like, oh, cool. That's how they did this shot.
Yeah.
It's Vinny C on the other side of the wall there.
And especially for an indie movie like this, there's a lot of great references. There was like a Hitchcock shot, just it's playing on IMDb right now, the trailer, and just
There's a split diopter too.
split diopter shots. But yeah, really good use of black and white, I think.
I agree with that. I think this movie would not be as effective in color. I'm glad that decision was made.
But yeah,
Awesome. Glad you liked it. Glad you liked the movie you picked.
yeah.
It's always sucked when you put a movie on the wheel that's a blind watch and it
And
kinks
then
and
you're
you're
just
like,
like, God damn it.
I feel bad now.
Dang.
My story about stashing a gun in the bushes outside of the police station.
Oh, please do tell.
But not a gun per
I'm
se.
gonna call the police right now.
Yeah, not a gun per se, but I carry a pocket knife on me all the time.
Sure.
Pocket knife and a flashlight. It's my everyday carry. I have both all the time. They're invaluable to me.
Yeah, they're tools.
Yes, they're tools. And the flashlight has a magnet on the back, of course, as one is wont to have. And I had to go to the courthouse one time for something, pay a ticket or something, and you have to go through the metal detector. And obviously, you can't bring a weapon into the courthouse, and it's just a small pocket.
Oh my God.
Small pocket knife, right?
So you just tossed them into the the shrubbery.
I just took my pocket knife and I put it in the bushes out front of the courthouse. It's like maybe 50 feet from the door. I'm like, I'll just put it here and I'll get it when I come back. When I did, I went and did my business. I came out and I went to go get my pocket knife, and there was like a shit ton of knives in there. There was a bunch of weapons in the bushes.
Oh, what the jackpot?
So homeless people, if you want to find a new knife,
Go to the
go
bushes
to the
of
courthouse. Yeah, of any jurisdiction that you're in. I guarantee that other people have the same thoughts.
Well, Eric is saying, as someone who's not your lawyer, you should stop telling the story right now. He also says, don't know which of us speaks French, but you talked about the good performances. What if the line readings were dog shit from the POV of those fluent in French?
I think about that every time I watch a foreign movie.
Wait, what?
Which is weird because Vincent Cassel is French, and I assume the rest of the cast would also be French.
But what he's saying is like us Americans are not speaking French, or say for example, when we watch Parasite, you're like, man, great performances in Parasite.
Yeah.
What if they're all cheesy, campy, over the top Korean performances?
Oh, no.
And we don't know that.
I don't want to know that.
Oh, because
Because we just don't understand the
cadence
cadence and the
dialects.
inflection. And
I wouldn't want to know that. I don't.
My
care.
thing with subtitles, like foreign movies like that, and it's more for, I guess, like documentaries when someone else is speaking a different language. I'm like, how honest were they in typing those subtitles out?
yeah,
And that person's gonna be saying the totally opposite thing.
There's probably a vetting.
you would think
It's
so.
like it's like a translator in like again like in a courthouse setting.
Yeah, we watch everything with subtitles on, and the amount of times that the English subtitles don't match the English language is ridiculous.
Oh,
They'll take entire long phrases, turn a phrase, and turn it into a much shortened thing for the subtitles.
Yeah, they'll take out words and stuff like that just to get the point across.
Yeah, you get the idea. Deaf people, you don't get the zhuzh or the flair.
Yeah.
you just get the raw message.
Which is this is so tangential
Ableist.
because Barbie released to Max, but they released an ASL version where there was a interpreter throughout the whole movie.
That's interesting.
like in the corner of the
Yeah.
screen.
Wow, that's
Which-
interesting.
But is that for like people who can't read? Like they can't use the subtitles?
It's illiterate deaf people. There's dozens of us.
I don't because it's a nice. I get the gesture, but what is the point?
Because
And this
it's
is
where-
I'm not being like, what's the point? Of that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's the what?
No. We understand what you're saying.
Because they
we
waste
get it.
of time.
Don't worry.
because
Catering to the
people were
weakest
going,
part of our society.
people are they were like really excited about that, and it's a good thing. I think.
Maybe-
I'm just confused.
Maybe it's because when you're signing the sign people, interpreters, sign language interpreters, they are very expressive and emotive with their emotions, so they get across the excitement of that line or whatever.
Or maybe they
You
just
ever
like,
watch the sign language ASL interpreter at a rap show?
Yeah.
or they
They got
just
that
have,
stank face the whole time.
or they have the like deaf people have the ability to watch the movie and then look at the corner with their different
they're
eye.
like a chameleon.
yeah,
chameleon.
they're a chameleon. Because they've been deaf their whole life. Like they had
Well,
a
not
whole-
everybody. Not
they-
everybody's deaf their whole life.
well, I don't know anything about that. But
Eric says that often subtitles are not word for word. Even some cultural stuff has changed to match the context for the language it's translated to.
all right,
I want more emojis in my
But
subtitles.
just like the
but at
ancient
same time-
Egyptians.
And I don't know. This is something else I don't know.
Yeah.
ASL, American Sign Language, is there also other countries
Yes,
ASL?
yeah,
there is.
French
So then
SL.
if they wouldn't be able to read that anyway because they don't speak ASL.
Who, the French people?
No, anybody from a different country that doesn't speak
The deaf?
that is deaf and has their version of sign language.
Getting back to
Well,
the
no. We need to go down this road. a
No,
little
we
further.
don't. No, we do not.
'Cause-
We need to go back to the
Because
movie.
in Europe, it's very common to teach English
Yeah.
and the home language.
Yes.
So for deaf people, it's probably a decision. Do I learn ASL or
there-
French SL?
What's
there-
going to be more advantageous
FSL?
for myself?
FSL.
FSL.
Is there an international sign language? I don't know.
I don't know.
The,
Well,
inter-
anyway.
the international language is
ISL.
math
I guess so.
and love.
It's Morse code.
Yeah.
It should do ..
No, because Morse code translates to English letters.
Ah, damn it.
I'm telling you, it's emojis.
Emojis. Everybody should just learn to read.
Yeah,
lips.
this was a great path that we went down on. But going back to Haine,
Talk about stashing my knife.
I watched
was at
it
a courthouse
dubbed.
somewhere. You did?
No.
Okay. Jam.
the one thing about Haine that I had a little bit issue with was, and this is probably coming out of complete ignorance. I'm sure it's happening in the modern day of 1995. So I don't know if there was like police riots or there was like huge discord in 1995 in France.
There's riots 2 weeks ago in France. They're always rioting over there.
I know they are, but
They're all
like,
about the revolution.
Remember, they're the people that cut Marie Antoinette's head
That's
off.
what Les Mis is about.
but my point, my
Entire history. They're
but my point is, I don't know if there was like any significant event that sparked like this huge discord, like in the projects of
It all started
France.
with Marie Antoinette.
I know.
Oh, it did. No, but that's in my initial thoughts at the top of the show. That's what I was getting at, is because I'm an American.
You don't know.
I don't have a frame of reference of.
For City of God, you didn't have a reference,
No, I didn't.
but you like that one.
I'm not saying I disliked it or.
But you're saying it as like a detriment to the movie.
I am not saying it's a detriment to the movie. It's just for myself, it's hard for me to relate to the characters. And I do like this movie. It's just, I think that the whole overbearing message that it's presenting to the audience
Which is
very specific to a certain group of people rather than
What's the message?
Police are bad.
Why is that
And-
specific to one group of people?
Because there's different kinds of bad police.
Oh, he
And-
does say at some point he goes to the rich neighborhood and he's like, man, like pigs are so nice over here. They're all polite. He called me sir. He pointed
Right.
me towards the house and he called me sir.
Exactly. And so that's that. Thank you. That's where I was getting at. And so that's for me. I think that the overall message was like, I got it. I understood it, but it didn't emotionally impact me as something like American History X or Kids or something that I'm familiar with, if that makes sense. And so
There is no racial bigotry here.
and so
It just happened to a bunch of frog leg eating, baguette toting Frenchies.
Is there a similar story in Kids?
I wouldn't say it's similar. It's just more or less the same mood of storytelling, where it's following a group of youths who aren't really well off, and they get into some shenanigans.
The storyline was inspired by the death of Malik Osakine in 1986 by police brutality.
Okay, all right, okay, yeah, I get it now.
Now that I know the guy's name that died,
I get it now.
got it. There we go.
Now this movie is bumped up a grade.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But I really thought there was a lot of interesting. There was a lot of
great.
There was a lot of interesting shot decisions, especially the staircase scene where they go to the cocaine dealer's house, and which I really loved that scene as well, like the Russian roulette scene.
Oh, that was intense.
And
I figured that he probably was just fucking with him and he had a trick to it because
That's what I thought
so
too.
cavalier. But I was like, man, it was good.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. It was, and that was, I feel, was probably the best acted scene in the whole movie, because it just, you really felt the intensity. And every time I see a movie that has a Russian roulette scene, or even a video game, and
A video game.
yeah, I'm specifically Call of Duty Black Ops 1.
What movies have that?
Russian roulette?
Yeah,
No, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Black Ops 1 has a Russian roulette cutscene.
Oh,
where-
I thought you were saying that there's a movie with Call of Duty in the
no,
movie.
no. I was just saying.
What movies have Call of Duty Black Ops 1 featured in the movie?
There's a great Russian roulette scene in Starsky and Hutch, the remake with Ben Stiller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I haven't checked that one out.
He's basically doing a trick just like this guy is, where he pretends to put a bullet
but
in
the thing falls in the...
and he puts it in and then he goes to load it or whatever. He slides it.
to close it.
He slides the bullet into his sleeve,
and
and
then it
then
falls.
when he drops the gun down to close the barrel, it slides into the
slides
chamber.
back
Yeah.
into the chamber.
And the perp who he's doing it to sees it. He knows it's a fake.
Yeah.
He's okay. It's a fake. This cop. And then he sees it slide back into the barrel, but Ben Stiller doesn't. So he's got the bullet to his own head, and the guy's, don't do it. And he really knows he's going to kill himself if he pulls the trigger. It's really good. And I couldn't help but think about that scene in this.
Yeah, but like the shot down to the staircase in the apartment, like it was really like surreal almost. When I was watching that scene, I was thinking to myself, wow, is this going to turn into a mindfuckery trippy movie? Because it really felt trippy.
There's some things in it like that, like the cow and the guy in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, the cow was that was a weird one.
Old man in the bathroom was funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was talking about how like his
It's
one of
nice
his
to take
fir-
a nice shit.
Yeah, it's nice to take a nice shit, and then he regales the tale to these youths about how they were him and his friend were being shipped off to the gulag, and they would stop the train, so
let
everyone could take a shit.
go jump off and take a shit, and his friend couldn't get back on.
Yeah, because he was shy.
So he had to go in a bush.
So he had to win a bush, and oh my god! And he was so cavalier about it as well. Which
Eric has a recommendation for the class: 13 Zametti, Tzameti.
Like the sauce you put on gyros?
Yeah,
Zametti?
it's that's tzatziki. It's
No, I don't think so.
Tzatziki. That's Greek. That's that Greek one with dill in it. It's a movie that 13 Zametti is a movie about an underground group of Russian roulette games.
oh
Interesting.
yeah,
The whole movie is that?
Jesus
Russian
Christ,
roulette? Welcome to the Russian roulette tournament.
Russian roulette is like probably the most terrifying thing that I could find myself in.
It
No,
seems insane.
a Russian roulette with a witch.
Yeah, if there's a witch there.
But if there is a witch, then I'm out.
Yeah.
I'd kill myself voluntarily.
Yeah, just give me that gun.
I never thought that I would see a movie. The director here, the director of, is this the one I got?
Mathieu Kassovitz?
In The Fifth Element, he plays this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the cash.
Been here long?
Yeah, long enough. Come on, give me the cash.
Said, is he
The mugger.
He's the mugger
Yeah,
that stands outside of
No charges.
Bruce
Salt
Willis's
mine.
door.
Yeah, yeah.
A movie directed by another French director.
Yeah, Luc Besson.
What do you mean it's not loaded? Give me the cash. Give me the cash.
To push that little yellow button to load it.
I just love that guy. He's
Yeah.
such a tweaker. He comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's like actor and director. He doesn't star in movies. He's not the lead, I don't think. But
He's just like when David Lynch shows up in a movie.
Oh god.
Or Cronenberg or whatever.
With the character Syed, I really wished like he.
Saeed.
Oh,
Saeed.
my apologies, Saeed. I really wish that they humanized him more, if that makes sense. Because with Vinz, when he's about to pull the trigger on the skinhead and he doesn't do it, that really humanizes him, it's making him like
It removes
vulnerable.
the facade of his machismo.
Right. And they do that with Hubert.
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 It's pronounced Hubert, or it's spelled Hubert, but the French pronunciation is Hubert.
Yeah, I got to remember that. And then
I gotta remember this.
We might be doing a podcast on this movie one day.
Hubert is also humanized significantly when his gym is destroyed by the riots from the police. And
Plus his conversations with his mom, his younger sister.
right, yeah. But with Saeed,
Saeed.
I gotta remember.
I think
He
I'm not gonna
remembered,
remember that.
he remembered Hubert, but then forgot Saeed.
yeah, I gotta remember
One at a
Saeed.
time. I can't do both.
I can only remember so many minorities' names.
But
There's no racial bigotry here.
But with Saeed, he's just an asshole, but they don't show a sensitive side. I guess at the end they do.
Maybe he doesn't have a sensitive side.
Yeah, maybe.
He can't
just a
access
little-
his feminine side.
Maybe he's just a little dickhead.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, yeah,
but
he-
I was hoping that all of the group would be vulnerable at some point, and it's only a quarter of the group that's vulnerable. Yeah,
It's only a quarter of them.
or a group. Yeah.
Only part of Vinz is vulnerable. Actually, it's 2/3.
It's a third.
Because you just said Hubert was, and Vinz was, but Saeed wasn't.
Yes.
So 66% of the group was vulnerable.
Where'd you get those numbers?
This movie also reminded me of Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing,
Oh yeah.
which came out in 1989, 6 years before this, and that's a very like racially driven movie. And Saeed's character reminded me a little bit. I guess all of them had hints of this character. His character's name in Do the Right Thing is Bugging Out. That's his name.
Yeah.
And he's played by Giancarlo Esposito, a very young Giancarlo Esposito.
That's cool.
And he's like in that movie, he's very much the one who is, we have to stop every other race because they're like interfering with our
Oh, okay.
turf or our causing problems with us.
Right.
And that's kind of a theme a little bit in Haine as well.
Except for it's pigs.
Yeah, except for it's just
race,
cops
yeah.
and not just the neighboring pizza shop. So yeah, that kind I got a little bit hints of that, and I wouldn't be surprised if, because that movie came out 6 years prior to this one, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit inspo from that
Probably.
as well.
Was that Giancarlo Esposito role? Was that before or after Monkey Bone?
Monkey Bone came out much
90
later.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that was in late
Early
90s.
2000s?
Oh,
Early
how
maybe-
the mighty had fallen. Yeah. His role in Monkey Bone was ridiculous.
Which one was he?
He was like the spider dream guy or something like that.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember really from that movie is Chris Kattan pulling out organs from his body.
Oh yeah.
The dead Olympist.
Yeah, I
the
thought
gymnast.
That was better than I was led to believe it would be, but it's still not a good movie.
No. It's definitely not a kid's movie, which is
bananas.
I was confused as a kid
Get it?
watching it.
Yeah. Much like Lahaine.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a movie that feels like there isn't like a driving plot for the movie. There isn't like a point A to point B for
Yeah.
these characters other than Vinz, who he has, I might do this if this happens.
Right.
But ultimately, by the end, he's the one who gets killed by a cop
Yeah.
on accident.
And I feel like that's fine. That you don't need. I don't think you need like a going from point A to point B sort of plot for a movie like this. It could work within the confines of the universe that was created, but for what's presented, it works just fine. I think maybe it could have been a little bit more dramatic. I got a little bored at some points.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think the actors did a very well job, and the way it was filmed, especially because it was in black and white, really, really worked. It just really worked. And there was more left to be desired, essentially.
What would you have desired more?
I think-
More of? You said drama?
Yeah,
More drama?
Yeah.
Give us your rewrite of this.
You can't do that to me. You can't.
More.
You can't do that.
What more did you want?
We open on a French toast.
I wanted a little bit more tragedy.
Just toast over there.
You want more murder, death happening?
Yeah, just more
Conflict?
more tragedy, more imaging of tragedy. You know, God damn it. Just showing more of the squalor that they all have to deal with on a day-to-day life. Maybe show some little kids like playing with trash or something. I don't know.
I like that image.
Interesting. It's good. I could have used a kid playing with some, like a can.
With
ball of rolled up paper.
Yeah.
The cow in the city wasn't enough.
Yeah.
More tragedy. I didn't peg Tyler as a sadist, says Eric. This movie wasn't tragic enough.
Yeah,
There was only one.
It wasn't sad enough.
There was only one minority death.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I like that there isn't a structured plot necessarily.
Sure.
And you're just kind of watching these people experience their lives. And like the scenes with the police where they
Those are rough.
where they were like
They're roughing them up inside the studio.
there was
police
that,
station.
There was that. They're like borderline torturing them.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
before that, when one of their friends,
Not enough.
who you don't really know, he has a shotgun now. And you see in the distance they try to kill one of the cops, and then there's that big group fight or struggle,
Yeah.
and then they end up getting chased by SWAT team, these policemen covered in gear, and there's that kind of chase sequence. I like those scenes, and the scene on the rooftop when the cop tries to get him down, and they're just like face to face, and they're just having this intense argument.
Yeah, it's like a big brawl.
Yeah. I like those
Europeans are
scenes.
good for that, like group shouting matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes to America, people just get shot.
Yeah.
I like the. It's like they have a rapport with the police because the way that they're talking to each other is like, and they're like pointing finger guns at them. And
They know
stuff.
them, yeah. They know them.
And then later in the movie, we like encounter the skinheads when they separate, and like you're the guys who yell at us from the roof.
How would you know that?
Now that's
Like honestly, how would you know that?
once the skinheads were introduced, I was like, all right, now we're feeling like back in America again.
Yeah, I get this.
Yeah. Okay. Tyler's. Hey, I know that guy
Yeah.
from the meeting.
That's Henry over there. Yeah, he's a good old boy.
Or Henri for French.
Honoré.
Henri.
But yeah, and then there's that big like they take one of the skinheads and they're about to kill him.
Right.
And Hubert.
Well, they beat him to a pulp.
Yeah, they're trying. He's like trying to. I don't know if he's genuinely trying to coax.
I think he does. I think he
Vinz.
really wants because he
He wants doesn't know. It only good skinhead is a dead
Yeah,
skinhead.
only a good skinhead is a dead skinhead.
Frankly, the idea of a skinhead that thinks.
It's offensive.
But yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was like trauma porn or tragedy porn or anything like that.
No,
It
I
wasn't-
wouldn't say that.
It wasn't like to the level of City of God where I'm just like watching like terrible in a terrible environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a good environment, but
No, but it's not. It doesn't beat you over the head with the whole like tragic stuff. And I think there is a place for that kind of tragedy porn, as you say, Joseph, like in film. But it has to be done in a way where it makes sense and it's just not beating you over the head.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this movie really towed the line. It felt very safe as far as watching tragedy. I mean, it really is a tragedy because at the end of the movie, our beloved Vinz gets killed.
Whoa, spoilers.
I already mentioned it.
I know.
But yeah, anything else anyone has to any specific scenes or things they want to bring up?
I will say to Tyler, to bring Tyler's grade up another 5 points, the director was inspired to write the screenplay when one of his friends, a fellow kid from the projects, died in police custody.
Okay.
So based off
There
of,
we go.
yeah,
There we go.
real event.
There we go.
Now Tyler can care.
There we go. If it's not based on reality, how am I supposed to relate to it?
I know. That's what.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just wanted the context of it. Like, I didn't know if it was just conjured up. I didn't know if it was conjured up by the director. I wanted to. I should have done research for it, but sadly I didn't.
Do
But-
all movies have to come from some sort of?
That's why The Perfect Storm is such a great movie, because it's based on a true story.
No, just because I don't know. Like I said before, I don't have a frame of reference for the troubles that are going on in the projects of France. So I didn't know if that was actually a thing or not.
Does the fact that Catch Me If You Can is just a bullshit story, does that make the movie less good?
No, better if it actually happened.
Actually, no, that's not true. That's
we're
not
sold
true.
the bill of goods that Frank Abagnale really did these things in real life. Sorry, Frank Abagnale Jr.
That movie is a very well crafted film.
But you're telling me there isn't a real band named Spinal Tap?
There actually is. I'm pretty.
Are you
sure.
telling me there's not a real man named Gay Bowser?
I don't know. I don't know. But
I wish I had a frame of reference.
The 5 people that know that joke. Okay.
Yeah. I don't.
So long.
But I think.
Are we grading this thing or what?
Yeah. Let's grade it.
Okay, Pete, what are you gonna give it?
I feel like this was oversold a tiny bit for me. It is one of those movies that's considered like one of the greats.
Right.
Everybody should see this movie, and I don't think it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I felt like I was left wanting just a little bit more out of the story. I like Vinny C. I like him more in other movies. I don't think this is like the one that I would choose to stand out with for like his performances. But the camaraderie of the trio seemed realistic. The characters that are supposed to be frustrating are particularly frustrating, and that works really well. I feel like this is 1995 French people's generation of Frances Ha, and I think it's been said many times.
Interesting.
A slice of life in this very particular black and white setting.
All right.
It's Frances Ha meets kids.
Interesting.
Do I need to say anything more?
Maybe.
We were all thinking it.
Yeah.
We were all thinking it. So yeah, I think it was very good, but not great. I think it missed that mark for me. I will give this a B+.
All right.
Okay, Tyler.
After this discussion, my initial grade would have been a C+, but now it's moved up to a solid B. I think I think really this movie, I agree with you, Pete. I think it was upsold to me as well, just because it's highly regarded. And that's not to say it's not a bad movie, but some of the things that people have said about this movie, they're saying like, "Oh, this is a classic." Like this, and I'm like,
I've never heard anyone say that.
I saw some reviews, like I think on Letterboxd, people were rating it very, very highly, regarding it as like a classic. I
Now,
was just
Barb and Star visit Vista Del Mar. That's a classic. Haine,
I mean,
it's okay.
yeah. But yeah, I think this movie was really well done. It's a very tight movie. It doesn't linger. And yeah, I'm glad I was able to watch it. So a solid B for me.
Cool. I'm gonna give it an A minus. A minus. I thought about A, but the rewatchability is there, but it's not very high.
Sure.
But yeah, I thought I did everything well. Pretty much.
Cool.
Nailed everything. It's just
Nailed it.
for entertainment / enjoyment. It's like towards City of God. Like
Right.
not quite as like devastating as City of God, or
Very far less tragedy porny.
and very much less gritty than that.
Right.
There's a softness to this, I think, and that's just in the visuals and how it looks. It's not as frenetic as that. I feel like this took a little bit more of an artistic route versus that, where City of God felt very just like
Voyeuristic.
true to life. Very true to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If maybe a little bit embellished, but this one felt it took its artistic or creative liberties in terms of presenting everything to us.
Yeah.
The themes and everything, and the guy in the bathroom. That guy's not real.
That guy's not real.
It's
I like how the group was like, why did he say that to us?
And then after they all leave, there's another guy in the bathroom that comes out, and he's experienced both of the conversations. The cop killing conversation and then the shitting off of a train
He's
conversation.
like, I gotta get out of here.
yeah,
I've been in here too long.
yeah. No, Eric, none of us Haine it.
Hell yeah.
Nailed it.
That comes from Eric.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it very
So
much.
yeah, anyways, definitely recommend. It is probably worth the 8.1 out of 10. It's definitely I don't know if it's in the top 250. It probably is.
I think it's a 231 or something like that on IMDb.
But yeah, so that's Haine. We did it.
Cool.
Done it. Now let's get to the wheel.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny. That's right, Lahaine off the wheel. I need to erase that real quick.
Haine is off the wheel.
Yes.
It's gone. Well, it will be shortly.
Joseph, what are you going to replace Lahaine with?
What am I gonna replace? Let's go to my handy dandy watch list picker, and from Letterboxd, watchlistpicker.com. This is sponsored, by the way.
Nice.
You just type in your username, and it takes directly from your watch list.
I need one for Just Watch because I don't use Letterboxd for my watch list.
All right, I'm gonna go there. It's gonna pick a movie, and it's gonna be Charade. A movie called Charade.
Okay, Charade.
1963.
Right,
Directed
classic.
by Stanley Donen. Never heard of this.
Never heard of it.
I have. I do not know anything about it though.
Bruce gave it 3.5 stars. Stars Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn,
Oh,
Walter Matthau, James Coburn, George Kennedy,
Wow, what a cast.
and a bunch of people.
Cool. I'm going to tell on myself because we didn't talk about this last week, but I had a punishment movie that never paid off.
Oh, did you?
oh, that's right.
Did you watch it?
I still didn't pay it off.
Oh, another one?
That's
Yes.
okay.
Another punishment movie. There's a stack of them.
You made your bed. Now it's time to sleep in it. Take your medicine. This is the Wheel of Punishment.
I'm fully prepared.
So what do you have?
LaQuisha.
And
Oh, that's right.
I need to get another one.
didn't we spin last week?
We did not. We talked about it, and then it never got brought up because we had a 2-hour episode.
Oh, okay.
So I figure we're not really spinning the wheel right now because next week we're going to do Blackberry.
Yeah.
So let's spin the wheel of punishment for me.
True. Yes, we are doing
I'm gonna
Blackberry.
I'll have to. I will pay off both punishment movies.
Okay, so
Apologies to Joe Bridges for
know
not
if-
watching
I don't
LaQuisha.
know if you want me to put
Your favorite
anything-
movie.
Say read off the thing here. Or...
Nah, we did a couple episodes ago. Just go ahead and give us a spin and we'll see what fucking movie I watch.
Okay, we're spinning the wheel of punishment. It's spinning. Trust me. I know you can't hear it, but it's spinning. And is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? It's happening.
What?
You're watching The Hip Hop Witch.
All right.
The Hip Hop Witch finally
Oh, I'm so sorry.
gets
Yeah.
landed on.
Back
sorry.
to back. I might have to watch these on Easter.
Oh my
Tomorrow.
God.
Yeah, Loquisha and the hip hop.
On the day that our
Lord's
Lord
ascension.
risen.
Yeah,
His resurrection.
he is risen, y'all.
He is risen.
Straight risen me up.
Oh wow, there we go. Okay, cool.
So yeah,
Do you remember who put that on there?
no.
All right,
The hip hop witch.
listeners, if you're still listening, if you put the hip hop witch on the Wheel of Punishment, please
Right.
send us a message.
Yes,
all the
please.
contacts in the show
I
notes.
want to say it's no, it wasn't Joel. Maybe it was. I don't know. I can't remember. But
Tyler's seen it.
no, you haven't. Have you?
Nope.
Oh,
what?
I'm pretty sure this was one that you said that you've seen before.
The hip hop witch. No, I don't think. I don't think so.
No, I don't think.
Oh, that was just a lie then.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I did.
You can't
Maybe
keep
I
track
didn't.
of all the lies.
How am I
keep
supposed to
track
know
of all the lies?
how am I supposed to know the things
lies.
that I've said and what's true and not?
I can't keep track of that.
I
My
don't
whole
even
life's a
know.
lie.
I don't even know if I'm dreaming or not.
You know the great thing about telling the truth, you never have to keep track of it.
That's true. Good point.
You never have to get lost in your lies.
Eric wants to know the music on the last drop. I assume the wheel music is it sounds like The Daughters.
It's
No, it's
anime.
great.
Bleach.
It's Great Teacher Onizuka.
Oh, and the Wheel of Destiny.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Was he meaning the Wheel of Destiny? Or
Wait,
the
the
Wheel
Wheel
of
of Punishment or Wheel of Destiny? Because what's the Wheel of Punishment?
Bleach is the name of the brand.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think. Let me see here. Bleach.
Yeah, it is Bleach, but I don't know the name of the song because it's in Japanese.
I heard the song originally from Mr. Robot, season 2, episode 10, the intro song, and the song is called "The Head That Controls Both Right and Left Sides" by Bleach.
What a name.
Bleach 03 is actually the name of the band. Bleach 03.
Bleach 03. There you go, Eric, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else, fellas?
I think
but
that's it.
we already spun the wheel
Yeah.
for the movie we're watching,
Blackberry.
which is Blackberry, and
Right.
then we're gonna have listener
Javier.
and Patreon member Javier in town.
On air.
The OG cool ass yard duty Patreon member.
Yeah, and he's been here before. He reviewed Hellraiser and something else. I don't remember. He reviewed two movies in a.
With us?
Yeah.
Was
'cause-
it Pokemon?
No, I was there.
No. Pokemon was a
Oh, that was
Pokemon.
yes,
the
yeah,
movie
yeah,
was
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Milk's Choice.
Yeah.
Milk was our first full length episode guest host. We
That's
did
right.
Man of Steel with us.
Right.
Weren't we supposed to do another hentai?
Oh, I don't know.
I would love to do one.
Milk will let us know when he's ready for us to watch some.
I haven't watched
hentai
it a
with him.
lot, so I
Just prepping for it. Yeah. Shout out to Nymphomercial,
Yes.
Milk's podcast about
So,
watching hentai.
Yeah, we'll be doing that next week.
Blackberry.
Cool.
Streaming on Hulu.
Nice.
And you guys are gonna watch the movie version, and I'll watch the TV edit version
Yeah.
because I've seen the movie version.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot
The
about that.
3-part miniseries that they broke it up into and added an extra
right.
like 25 minutes worth of footage.
That's right.
He did the voices and Hellraiser.
The Voices was Ryan's pick, I believe,
Yes.
and Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
The original Hellraiser?
Yes, 1987.
Oh, okay. Which was Tyler's pick.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, were you out of town that week or something?
Yes.
Okay.
I had just gotten back in, but I didn't want to do the show.
You're like, fuck
I
that
didn't want
shit.
to watch Hellraiser again.
Again.
Who does? All right. Thank you to our cool ass yard duties. That's Javier, Heather Sachs, Ryan Corbin, and Chris, and everyone that's been following along on YouTube Live. Thank you, Eric, for sticking with us through the review episode and for popping in the Gab and Chatter portion. If you want to support us on Patreon, hit us up at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass. But listening on YouTube is just as good. Maybe not just as
If
good.
not better.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're creeping up on watch hours and subscriber count, and ultimately the goal is get to a certain level, and maybe we can actually make a little bit of money from YouTube.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's all we want out of you is your money.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's not their money at that point.
It's whose money? YouTube's money.
It's YouTube's money.
Yeah.
It's fucking whoever the CEO of Alphabet is.
Yeah.
I know. We never did figure that
Alphabet soup.
Yeah, because so here's the thing. Let's just say one day we're making boatloads of money off of YouTube.
We have quit our jobs.
Yeah, we quit our jobs.
We moved into a hype house.
We've
all together.
We're in a hype house. At that point, we can just say, "Hey, the Patreon is going to be 50 cents a month."
You guys would not want me to live in your house.
You won't be there.
I would be in like in a dog
The hype
house in the
dog house.
backyard.
The
dog house.
mother-in-law's quarters in the backyard.
Yeah, the mother-in-law's quarters.
We
yeah.
would give you a cargo container underground.
And every so often we'd walk by and be like, "Why is there a pizza just left out in your bathroom?" A full-size pizza with one bite taken
Why
out
are you
of it.
eating grapes off the floor?
I know. Is that milk steak? Anything else?
No.
No.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you again to everybody who's following along on the YouTube Live and the YouTube Not Live and the OG classmates in podcast land. Follow us next week as we review Blackberry from listener Javier. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
Thank you one more time for everybody for watching on the YouTube. If you're a podcast listener and it's all the same, listen to us there. Makes a big difference. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.